Hello everyone, for today's video I have a Super Saiyan God themed moveset. Now a few people did suggest this, but I was going to do this one anyway, so shout out to everyone who did mention it, I guess. If you do have any moveset theme suggestions for yourself, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Any most interesting ones will be used for future videos. And of course, if you do enjoy these videos, please leave a like. So getting into the moveset, I've got Instant Transmission, Super God Fist, Meteor Crash and Ki Blast Cannon as my 4 supers, Death Meteor, which I'll get into in a moment, and Super Kamehameha as my 2 ultimates, Super Saiyan as my transformation, and Explosive Wave as my evasive. So, Goku and Beat from Dragon Ball Heroes are really the only 2 characters we've seen who became a Super Saiyan God and actually fight. I know there's been a few other Super Saiyan Gods like those other Saiyans from Dragon Ball Heroes and the original Super Saiyan God, but as far as I know, we haven't really seen any of those fight. So really, I had to base this moveset around Goku and Beat. So firstly, I picked Instant Transmission because if you guys remember from the Battle of the Gods movie, when Goku dropped out of Super Saiyan God when he was fighting Beerus and just became a normal Super Saiyan, towards the end of the fight, Goku used this sort of instant transmission rush, then hit Beerus with the Super Kamehameha. I absolutely love that scene, and that's pretty much the only reason why I have instant transmission. Super God Fist and Ki Blast Cannon, really because Goku has them in his Super Saiyan God form in Xenoverse 2, so I might as well use it. And Meteor Crash because I just think it fits the theme of the moveset and I very rarely use it. Same thing for the Explosive Wave Evasive. Typically speaking, I would use Super Explosive Wave, but Goku's God form just has the normal version, so that's why I picked it. If you guys have watched my older videos, and more specifically my Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 videos, you would know that I've done a few Super Saiyan God videos, and what I normally do for those types of videos is I get the Dragon Balls, I change my hair and eyes to red, and I make my skin ever so slightly more red, just so it looks like Super Saiyan God. And of course I use Kaioken, just so it looks like I have a Super Saiyan God aura. But at the moment, I simply just do not have enough time to keep getting the Dragon Balls to change my appearance for something like that. And I don't really want to make a new character just so it makes me look like a Super Saiyan God, so I just decided to pick Super Saiyan over Kaioken. Super Kamehameha as one of my 2 ultimates because, I mean, I've said this a million times, I'll just go over it very quickly. It's a decent ultimate attack, it's very stable and reliable, and it's pretty fast to hit with and does a decent amount of damage, so there we go. Now, for Death Meteor, I know this is one of Frieza's attacks, but in Dragon Ball Heroes, Goku has a new attack called God Meteor, and basically he just summons a meteor from the sky and hurls that at his opponents, basically like a spirit bomb. So I decided to use Death Meteor just because it looks like that attack, and because it just makes things more interesting in my opinion. So as we go into the first fight, I picked the Capital Corporation map because I haven't really used it that much, and my opponent picked Super Saiyan God Goku, well, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and this was the day or the day after the update came out where he had the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and this guy didn't pick that for some reason, which I'm thinking, why not? But you can see already within 20 seconds I've pretty much drained all of his stamina. I have a decent idea already of when he's going to vanish, I just don't know if he's going to try and back hit me or even if he knows how to do it. So I would like to figure that out as we continue throughout the fight. So I backstep here a few times just to create a bit of distance, then rush back into him, expecting him to vanish, which he does, so then I send him flying away, vanish myself or teleport and hit him with the Super God Fist, which is just so disrespectful. I go for a bit of a flashy combo here, and I knew he's going to vanish because he's just proven in the past in this fight that he's going to. I turn Super Saiyan, he goes for the Super Kamehameha. I did use instant transmission thinking for some reason I'll teleport behind him, but you only teleport behind your opponent if you use instant transmission if you're right next to them, so I don't know what I was thinking there, maybe I was just trying to be a bit flashy, I don't know. But you saw there, he went for a second Super Kamehameha and I used instant transmission again. In a moment, I get him in just a basic combo, and I don't know why I did this, but I used stamina to continue it. I mean, at this point of the fight, it doesn't matter anyway because I'm going to win, the fight's almost over. I go for instant transmission here after sending him down, thinking I could connect the Super God Fist. Of course it misses. So then he's going to go for the Super Kamehameha. I'm going to hit him with the Heavy Smash, then finish him off with the Super God Fist, and I love this attack so much. It was an okay first fight I suppose, but I think we can do better than that. So in the second fight, my opponent has Giant Storm and times 4 Kaioken Kamehameha, 2 very strong ultimates, but they do have their downside, so as long as I'm careful, I'm going to be okay. I think he does hit me with the Giant Storm once, and it's kind of funny how he does it, so we'll see that in a little bit. So I haven't actually hit him yet in this fight, so I do want to change that, and I do just before going to the clash. And then I went for the instant transmission for whatever reason, I don't know. So in a moment, this guy's going to vanish twice in the course of like a second, so he panic vanishes. So that's going to be a big advantage for me now that I know this. I can kind of bait him, maybe use the anticipation fist on him. So yeah, like that's going to really help me. So he's got pretty much no stamina now, and because I don't want to use any of my stamina to continue a combo, I wait for the meteor crash, and now he goes for the giant storm. I break his guard with the heavy smash, and that should have cancelled it. But much like in Xenoverse 1, giant storm is still a bit buggy, so there's that, I suppose. So now I send him flying down and follow him up by using instant transmission to use the swing kick, and then I go for the death meteor, but he was just able to avoid it in plenty of time. So I turn Super Saiyan 1 now, and from here, he's pretty much lost the fight, to be honest. I have a decent idea when he's going to vanish, so I'm just baiting him into using all of his stamina. Then I went for the double stamina break, which was kind of pointless in that situation, but this death meter now is going to hit, and that's going to finish him off. I mean, it was a short fight, it was kind of fun, but with that being said, let's move on to the next fight. So I didn't notice this immediately, but since the 1.04 or the 1.05 update, the cave stage has been changed so that when you start up, you're not behind like one of the rocks. I didn't notice that immediately, hence why I locked off and had a bit of a look. But I really do hope that eventually they fix it so that stages such as the Glacier map or the Capital Corporation stage, you start off nearer your opponent rather than both of you being on opposite sides of the map. So as you just saw, I broke his stamina, and now I'm just doing a basic combo on him. I'm kind of using a lot of stamina here, so I sent him flying down and go for the Super Kamehameha to finish off his combo to do a decent amount of damage. And I really do wish I could go for a stamina reset here because, well, with this guy, what I've noticed is that he plays very flashy and he's just going to step vanish as much as possible, even though it's not really going to benefit him in the long run, because it's just like, do you remember that scene from Indiana Jones when there's that guy with the sword like doing all that flashy sword stuff, and then Indiana Jones just gets a gun out and shoots him? That's what it just felt like here. In a moment, I'm going to have enough ki to turn Super Saiyan, but I do want to hit him a few times before he gets a chance to vanish, so I get enough ki. He goes for the stamina break there as I turn Super Saiyan, so that's going to be very nice. I go for the instant transmission here, then the Ki Blast Cannon, thinking, well, it may hit, but it doesn't. So he gets me in the stamina break, and to be honest, that's going to benefit me now because, I mean, granted, he does fist me here. Oh man, but I'm going to have more than enough health left, and because I know when this guy's going to vanish, plus he's got no stamina, like I have a big advantage now. But with that being said, a fight like this can really turn on you pretty fast, so I do want to conserve as much stamina as I can. I mean, I've got like 4 bars of ki now, so I mean in a moment I'll have 5. So I do go for the meteor crash to finish him off because he won't be able to regenerate enough stamina in time to vanish. So I'm just going to finish him off that way. Looking back, I could have turned Super Saiyan 2 there and then finish him off with the meteor crash that way, because that would have done more than enough damage, but I did just about get away with it in the end. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching so far. There's a few more fights left and they're pretty good, I must admit. So thank you guys for watching so far and enjoy the rest of the video.
Moveset!